The most satisfying revenge. Sarah, after 20 years, we're going with younger talent, Monica announced between bites of grilled salmon. Security will watch you clear your office. I stared at the severance packet she slid across the table, so casually, as if she were handing me the dessert menu. 20 years of dedication to Raymore Publishing reduced to a manila envelope. I wish you all the best, I said. My voice didn't shake. I even managed a smile. Monica blinked, momentarily taken aback. She had expected tears, maybe pleading. What she didn't know was that I'd seen this coming for months, ever since she became director and started replacing experience with fresh graduates who barely remembered physical books. My name is Sarah Ellison. I'm 56 years old and have spent the last 2 decades as Senior Client Relations Manager at Raymore Publishing in Boston. I'm not flashy or loud. I'm consistent. I'm thorough. I care deeply about our clients and their work. In publishing, relationships are everything. And I had built some of the best. Monica, 34, all digital marketing polish and designer heels, pushed away her plate. The industry is changing. We need fresh perspectives, people who understand digital platforms. Of course, I replied. Times are certainly changing. She looked relieved that I wasn't causing a scene. Human Resources will reach out about your benefits. Your severance is generous, 6 months' salary. We appreciate your years of service. Service. As if I were a utility, not the reason several marquee clients stayed with the company. I took a sip of my iced tea, already tallying my next steps. The mortgage was nearly paid off. Our daughter had graduated college. Thomas, my husband of 30 years, had a stable career in architecture. Financially, we were fine. So, you're okay? Monica asked, brow furrowed. Yes, I said simply. I understand business decisions need to be made. As we walked back to the office, Monica chatted about her plans to reorganize the department. My phone buzzed. A text from Harold Baldwin, CEO of Baldwin Tech. Lunch tomorrow? Need to discuss new marketing strategy. She had no idea. 3 of Raymore's biggest clients were waiting for me, not the company. I started at Raymore in 2003 as an administrative assistant. Publishing wasn't my dream. I had an English Lit degree and ambitions of teaching, but I needed flexibility while raising my daughter. A temporary job became a career I loved. Over 20 years, I rose from answering phones to managing our most important clients. I knew their coffee orders, their spouses' names, their kids' birthdays. I didn't build strategy slides, I built trust. Baldwin Tech had stayed with Raymore for 15 years because of me. Harlow Imports signed on after 18 months of courtship. New Summit Holdings became a client because I knew their needs before they said them out loud. Together, those 3 made up nearly 40% of Raymore's revenue, but Monica saw only age, not value. Security was waiting. Richard, the guard who had smiled at me every morning for 12 years, looked embarrassed. I'm sorry about this, Miss Ellison, he whispered. It's okay, Richard. Just doing your job. My colleagues watched silently as I packed my office. Framed family photos, my jade plant, my fountain pens. Some avoided eye contact, others whispered support. Jessica Adams, who had joined 5 years earlier, looked distraught. This isn't right, she muttered, helping me pack. You're why half our clients stay. I squeezed her hand. Things change, Jessica. Companies evolve. What will you do? I smiled, genuinely this time. I'll figure something out. As Richard escorted me out, I saw Monica laughing with a young woman, my likely replacement, eager and 25. I didn't blame her. This was her shot. Raymore had once been mine. What Monica didn't realize was that opportunities could work both ways. That night, after a moment of grief and a long hug from Thomas, I made 3 calls. Not to mourn, but to move. Harold Baldwin was furious. Sarah, you're why we're with Raymore. Let's meet tomorrow. I have thoughts. Victoria Harlow was calm, but pointed. We have 3 projects coming up. Our contract renews next month. Let's talk first. Robert Summers at New Summit Holdings, the most reserved of the 3, surprised me the most. Would you be open, he asked, to discussing something more permanent? By midnight, I had 3 lunch meetings scheduled. I wasn't plotting revenge. I was navigating a new reality. The next day, I met Harold at Grenell's Bistro, 2 blocks from Raymore. A small part of me hoped Monica would see us. He got straight to the point. Monica called me this morning. Introduced some new rep. Bethany. Said she has fresh ideas. Bethany Wilson. I nodded. Smart, but she's never worked on technical publications. I don't want fresh. I want you. I want to hire you as a consultant to manage our publishing projects. I blinked. You want to hire me? Yes, directly. You'll oversee our materials as you always have, but for Baldwin Tech. He smiled. And I'll pay you 30% more than Raymore did. Plus benefits. My phone buzzed, a text from Victoria. New Raynor rep was unprepared, very eager to speak with you. Then another from Robert. New person doesn't understand our formatting. Needs. Still on for Thursday? Harold raised his glass. You're not the only one having second thoughts about Raymore's new direction. Victoria Harlow offered a similar contract. Bethany couldn't answer basic questions about our catalog. Specs? She said flatly. I had this drafted last night. She slid a folder across the table. The offer was generous. Back home, Jessica called. Sarah, it's a disaster here. Clients are angry. Bethany's overwhelmed. Monica's scrambling. The next morning, Robert offered me a full-time role. Director of Publishing Operations, he said. Build a team from scratch. Keep consulting on the side. The salary made me catch my breath. I'm flattered, I said. Let me consider everything. 2 days later, Monica called. Sarah, we're facing transition issues. I'd like to discuss bringing you back, temporarily, as a consultant. I'm afraid I'm booked, I said calmly. There's an opportunity for you to return, possibly in a senior role, she added. I'll check my calendar, I said, and hung up. By week's end, I accepted Robert's offer, director of publishing at New Summit, and launched my own consulting business, Ellison Publishing Services. Baldwin Tech and Harlow Imports were my first clients. A month later, Monica showed up at my door. She looked tired. The board wants to offer you EVP of Client Relations, she said. A board seat, an ownership stake. 6 weeks earlier, it would have been a dream. I'm honored, I said. But I've found a path that's mine, one where I call the shots. She looked defeated. When I fired you, I thought I was modernizing the company. You were, I replied, just not the one you expected. 6 months later, we hosted a launch party at our home for New Summit's new publishing program. Harold, Victoria, my new team, and a few former Raymore colleagues gathered to celebrate. Jessica Adams, now the client relations director at Raymore after Monica's abrupt departure, joined me on the patio. When Monica let you go, she said, everyone thought it was the end. I laughed. Sometimes being underestimated is the greatest advantage. She smiled. You taught me that relationships matter more than buzzwords. Thomas handed me a glass of champagne. They want a speech, he teased. I don't give speeches, I said, raising my glass. But I'll give a toast to unexpected opportunities, to valuing expertise, and to the power of relationships. Harold called out, and to Sarah Ellison, who proved that the best revenge is excellence. As the group cheered, I took in the scene. Clients turned partners, colleagues turned friends, and a new career I had built from the ashes of dismissal. The title had never mattered. What mattered were the relationships, the value, the impact, and I had just begun.